And at this moment, let's kick this show off right. Topic number one. All right. Let's get into the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley showdown that just transpired last Saturday night. We now have a Jake Paul. People used to simply call him a YouTuber. But now this man stands 5-0 as a professional boxer. Now, although he may not have yet fought a fighter with a real boxing background, nevertheless, he is now 5-0 as a boxer with a absolute devastating KO of Tyron Woodley in the 6th round live here in Tampa. So, Q, tell me your initial thoughts, man, as we really start to get into it. What do you think of what you saw happen last Saturday night between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley?
Man, to be honest with your brother, and you was in the building, man. Shout out to my man JD, was in the building, right, live all the way and live in full effect, man. But I really felt like, one, I was excited to see that they was able to save the day and get a great opponent as Tyron Woodley, you know what I'm saying, is after the Tommy Fury fight fell apart because of injury. So I was excited about the fight, and then as I was watching it, man, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. It almost looked like an instant replay of the last fight, you know what I'm saying? And I was sort of, I was a little tired, had a lot going on. It wasn't anything with the fighters, but I was just tired, and I actually dozed off. Then I heard a cannon go off, like, you know what I'm saying? Damn, like the Tampa Bay Bucks after they scored a touchdown. Boom! I heard a damn cannon, man.
Right. So we in the red zone, man.
I woke, I woke up and had to shake back real quick, and I'm like, what the hell going on? You go looking around, and I'm like, oh shit! Then I saw Woodley on the ground, like he planking on his face. And I'm like, damn, is he alive? I mean, it was reminiscent of, I ain't gonna even stunt, man, Marquez Pacquiao, the overhand right, or either Sergio Martinez, Paul Williams. It was one of those moments, man. I got chills, and I was like, damn, is he okay? You know what I'm saying? And it was a crazy moment, and one of the moments you live for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also say in the aftermath, you know what I'm saying? In the aftermath of that, I saw some video that was a little, it was a little something that you had to, pay attention to a little bit, because it looked like, and the person that put the video out was just showing that he was basically saying it was a rigged fight. Long story short, and you seen signals, what could be signals, what Jake Paul was, how he was positioning his glove, and then you see Woodley drop his guard, you know what I'm saying? And then they reset, and then they do it again, and then my man throw a very telegraphed overhand right that lands flush, you know what I'm saying? Lands flush to the side of Tyron Woodley's face, his head, and he just falls flat on his face. And my thing about that is I really feel like, in boxing, you never know. Boxing has been said to be one of the most corrupt sports. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even disagree with that. Boxing is still my favorite sport, but it ain't a way to really know for sure. But what I will say is, if it is fake, Tyron Woodley deserves a damn Oscar, because this man was so hurt, and he was so, like, I really felt him. You know what I'm saying? Like, just his face and his whole momentum after the fight, and plus how he fell flat on his face. It's weird, you know what I'm saying? It's one of the things we will never know. But I just feel like at the end of the day, man, I love to see how the house was packed in Tampa. You know what I'm saying? I always love to see sports events, especially. I wish I could have been down there. I'm glad you made it, brother. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like you had a very good time. But it was a very exciting fight, and I'm waiting to see what's next with Jake Paul, because everybody ready. A lot of people want to see him lose, and everybody want to see him fight a real boxer. So that's the next thing. Which would tell me what you saw, man. You was there, you was live in full effect, man. So I would really love to know, how did it feel live?
I have to admit, man, that I was extremely impressed by the turnout that I saw at this Jake Paul fight. A lot of people, who are sitting back and watching him on TV, on YouTube, on Showtime, whatever channel you're watching them, it feels like, you know, he's kind of, you know, this YouTuber that's got a lot of clout and a lot of acclaim, but you're like, dude is fake and phony. He ain't really bringing people out like that to really see him fight.
Right.
But I got to keep it 100, man. This dude packed out the house in Tampa, similar to what we saw transpire when he fought in Cleveland, Ohio. I can't lie, man. When I stepped, walking up the steps to the arena, I mean, it was droves of people coming to see a Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight that, like you said, Tyron Woodley filled in as what, a last-minute replacement with only 2 weeks to prepare?
2 weeks.
2 weeks to prepare. So I was thoroughly impressed by how many people he brings to a match. And that goes to the point where, you know, we've heard a lot of people debate, is Jake Paul and Logan Paul, are they good or bad for boxing? But I got to admit, man, from what I saw, they definitely are something that is good for boxing because of the platform and the eyes that they brought to the sport of boxing from an entertainment standpoint. Now, when it gets to the real actual fight, I agree with you 1,000% as far as the way that fight was going. It really was a repeat of the first fight. It was very dicey. I saw where, honestly, where Tyron Woodley could have arguably been up on the cards. Some people could have had it 3-2 Woodley, maybe possibly 2-3 Jake Paul. Until, like you said, man, we ended up getting that cannon from right across
came out of nowhere, bro.
Right across the way, man, sounding just like what we hear when that man Tom Brady gets us in the red zone or ultimately scores a touchdown. It was a cannon out of nowhere with that overhand right by Jake Paul that left us all stunned, absolutely stunned in that building, man. I cannot even begin to tell you what it was like watching his body face plant on that canvas. But, you know, nevertheless, it was an amazing victory. I'm shocked because with a victory like that, I think now the fight literally went from Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley having kind of a boring fight. Like you said, I think there was a lot of hugging, a lot of grabbing, a lot of stuff that the fans didn't like and they booed a good bit. But it immediately turned from a so-so fight to something immediately that will go viral. That clip will probably be replayed for years and years to come. But overall, man, I thought it was a good fight, man. And I think we'll see more from Jake Paul. But that brings me to another question about Jake Paul, though, man. Go ahead right quick.
Before you say that, man, I saw something today I got to ask about, man. I got to ask about, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my TikToks, all my TikTokers, people that watch TikTok and everything, you know what I'm saying? If you don't, I
still got to get about that TikTok life.
So man, listen, bro.
I don't have no TikTok.
This is for the fan that's in the TikTok and for anybody that was in the building, because it was another viral moment that happened that I saw. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just try to, because I'm pretty sure you have heard this, because this is something that it ain't too many people have been able to escape. You know what I'm saying? They had them damn, I'm an island boy, I'm just trying to make it. They had them boys out there, man. Them boys was out there and got into a little scuffle, man. The little twins, I don't know, they say they Cuban, they from Palm Beach. They was out there. Yeah, they look like a damn McDonald's French fries, supersized French fries. You know what I'm saying? With face tats. I don't know, but either way it go, they was out there and they had somebody threw a drink on them, and it was all type of, you know, crazy stuff happened, man. And it was just
matter of fact, bro, I actually saw. I didn't see from my vantage point. I couldn't see what really caused the rift. There was some dudes who were. Here's a note to all our listeners out there, man. If you ever have floor seats or you are at a point where you're at baller stats, do not engage with the people who not on your level. Because the way it transpired was they were arguing with some dudes who clearly didn't have floor seats, and they were up further up in the arena, and that's how everything got started. And then cops came, was trying to kick them out, all that. I don't know.
Yeah, they got kicked out, I think.
And
they actually, I think they actually it stopped the fight for a second, because the two fighters, from what I read, the two fighters had to stop and see what the hell was going on, because it was like that type of ruckus, you know, was going on. Pretty crazy.
It was a short little pause, but overall, I did see that little scuffle go down on the floor. amidst the fight, man. But with that, I gotta get into. Tell me what's next, though, man. Tell me what is the plan for Jake Paul as far as the next moves that he's gonna make for his career. Is he actually gonna double back to, say, a Tommy Fury and take on a real boxer? Is it going to be a Nate Diaz who was at the fight? Is it going to be any other UFC fighter that you think he's going to land? But tell me, man, what do you think is the next move for Jake Paul?
Let me tell you something, man. And what I have just saw, and what I think would be a move for him, I don't like it at all. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't even know. I just saw that he called out because see, it's a lot of fighters, a lot of criticism on him is he need to fight a real boxer, right?
Right.
You don't fight a real boxer, but at the same time, you want to get the notoriety, but you don't want the drama. You don't want the real risk of getting smashed or you know what I'm saying, getting knocked out. You know, I'm like, who will be the person? Who will be the person? You know, that's a world champion that has a claim, that has done some things, but really is not there. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And I saw that he actually called for him, and I saw that his management has been saying that that's somebody he's looking at seriously. You know, I didn't know at first how deep that was, but it's actually has legs. But the sky the limit with Jake Paul is really all on you know, because everybody gonna want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Like when these pay-per-view numbers come out, that would show you a lot more because I mean, like I say, you do $1.5 million, you're doing 1 million pay-per-views. I'm sure Conor McGregor probably want to get off the couch. You know what I'm saying? Conor McGregor, because I'm sure he's ready to get active. And I think he said something after the fight. I think he even got on Twitter or something, and he might have blasted Woodley, because a lot of people are mad at Woodley for not. And it's not even about. It's more about Jake Paul. They want to see him lose, I feel. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about Woodley. It's people that's coming out. You know, even Le'Veon Bell, you know, it ain't, like I said, it ain't even about the opposition, but it's about the fact that he won again. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are very upset about it. So the sky the limit, but I believe he'd rather have Chavez Jr. than Tommy Fury because of what he's done. If we're going to talk about a boxer, because of what he's done, even though, you know, I feel like his best moment is the 11-12 round of the Sergio Martinez fight. Outside of that, you know what I'm saying, I ain't really been impressed. He had Sergio Martinez stunned where he could have won a fight, which is Sergio Martinez is an amazing talent, but he had a subpar. Remember we were there for the Canelo, the fight with him and Canelo. We was in Vegas for it, and he's been in high positions in his father. He never lived up to his father's name, but at the same time, that would silence a lot of people that saying he hasn't fought a real boxer. You know what I'm saying? So that I feel like. That will be if as far as a boxer go, I'll probably put him up there. And then as far as a UFC fighter, I feel like any of them top guys, man, Conor McGregor would be number one though. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like the pay-per-view numbers had to do a certain amount before Conor McGregor comes out and want to scrap with Jake Paul. He want to make him earn it.
Right. I think most definitely, man. I personally don't think that he's gonna fight a real fighter anytime soon. Now I do think the Chavez
even Chavez Jr. You don't think he'll fight him either?
I don't even think he'll fight Chavez Jr. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't think he'll fight Chavez Jr. Because even Chavez Jr. has an extensive enough background that he's not that talented of a fighter, but I think Chavez Jr. could still out-condition Jake Paul.
Really?
Because a lot of people forget. In the first Tyron Woodley fight, people forget part of why the fight was so close is Jake Paul was gassed after about round 4. And like you said, the one crowning moment that Chavez Jr. has is going the whole fight, getting outboxed by Sergio Martinez, and suddenly in the 12th round after a long fight, flooring Sergio Martinez. And so I think at the end of the day, while Chavez Jr. isn't really that great of a boxer, I still think that he has enough of a Mexican pedigree. He has enough of a Mexican pedigree that he would get up enough to where he wouldn't get beat by a Jake Paul. Now, I will say what I do think that Jake Paul is going to do. I personally think that Jake Paul is going to target some of these UFC MMA fighters if they're willing to get in the ring. Of course, as you stated, the number one name of all names would be Mr. Proper 12 himself, Conor McGregor. If he's willing to get off the couch and put the whiskey business aside just for a minute and come over here to the States for a mega fight, that would do absolute buku numbers. Like for Jake Paul and Conor McGregor. Now, Nate Diaz was at the fight. You also have what's that? Masvidal,
George Masvidal or whatever his name.
Yeah, he was at the fight. Not to mention, you got plenty of people like Adam Pac-Man Jones calling him out. You got Le'Veon Bell calling him out. You have all types of athletes who want to get in the ring with
Anderson Silva is another name that is in the mix that I just saw.
Right.
Which would be bigger than
exactly. Now,
that's who just beat he just beat Chavez Jr. in a fight, and also
exactly.
Also, Chavez Jr. actually fought the same night as Jake Paul did. He actually had a fight the same night, and he won. I think a unanimous decision. I think it was in Mexico, but
And to your point, right quick about Anderson Silva, that's a fight. Jake Paul's not gonna make that fight. He ain't gonna make that fight because Anderson Silva, bro.
Oh, he got hands.
Oh, he got hands. He got hands, and he could, even at his advanced age, what's he about? 40? I forget how old
40.
Anderson Silva is.
Man, I almost want to say 46, but I'm not sure if he's that old.
I know he's in his 40s, but he's an excellent athlete. But I will say, outside of that, though, there was another fight. Let's touch on one of the other fights that a lot of people would say was an exhibition that a lot of people wanted to see. And for years, we've heard a lot about